Hello guys. If you would ask me as a Ukrainian, am I afraid of nuclear war with Russia and that one day they will drop a nuclear bomb on us, I'd say I don't think it's very likely because Putin is not a suicidal person and he is definitely afraid of the global reaction. But I'm still afraid that an atomic explosion is possible in Ukraine, and especially after the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe, is under total control of orcs. My name is Anna, and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight informational war. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. Just recently on the news, we read the update from Zaporizhzhia NPP, which worries me a lot because they had a blackout that could potentially lead to some nuclear reactions and explosions and fires, which is something we definitely don't want in Ukraine, in Europe, and in the world. You know that in my videos I try to update you with this ordinary Ukrainian perspective on the things, and actually we ordinary Ukrainians are very much surprised at how quickly the world forgets these troubles that still continue. The largest nuclear power plant in Europe is under total control of very unpredictable and very unprofessional Russians since almost the very beginning of this war. After a number of visits of the representatives of international atomic energy representatives, they warned it's not operating according to the rules. They were terrified with the fact that the power plant is mined in some locations, that they don't care about the supply of water that is needed for the cooling systems, and especially after the explosion on the Kakhovka Dam. But these concerns, they lead to nothing, and Russia continues manipulating this power plant, like using it to threaten the world and at the same time using it to produce the energy that they potentially use with like no control at all. And from time to time, all the people in the world forget about that and start thinking like, let's talk, let's negotiate. Why am I so worried about this plan? There are two reasons. Reason number one, which is actually closely connected to this recent news, people who now control Zaporizhzhia power plant are totally unprofessional, and they demonstrate lots of things that prove it. Well, first of all, the territory is mined. The cooling system is not working properly after the water has left Kakhovka reservoir after the explosion, another act of Russian friendliness. YouTube is too sensitive to bad words. Also, recently they have used oil that is not intended for such purposes for the mechanisms inside one of the reactors, which actually led to the blackout. The blackout on the largest in Europe nuclear power plant. Any moment it can cause any kind of nuclear reaction that can lead to explosions, fires, and other stuff, which I hope is no need to explain how dangerous can be. It threatens not only Ukraine, it also threatens Europe and the world, because once again, this is the largest nuclear power plant. And Russians will do nothing to stop this fire or to tell people. This very much reminds me the times of Chernobyl disaster catastrophe, which is one of the greatest tragedies in the modern history of my very, very poor country. To some extent, we've sacrificed a lot. And the greatest crime of this Chernobyl catastrophe is not actually the catastrophe itself, but how Soviets and Moscow, the center in Moscow, was trying to hide this information from citizens, allowing them to go out in the streets, on the parades, walking with children, getting sunbathing, rain and other stuff. People were not hiding from radioactive substances until sane and good people in Sweden started shouting out. So believe me, Russians is capable of a similar crime just because they are non-professional. They don't care about this world, this planet, and their own lives. So why should they care about ours or yours? Share and subscribe if you agree with me, because this is an informational war too. Another reason, they can do it on purpose, just as they did with Kakhovka Dam, and still many newspapers had doubts until the research and investigation finalized it was Russia. It was very painful, by the way, for Ukrainians to observe how the world is still considering who is responsible. We are not killers, you know. We are defenders of our motherland, and we would never do anything evil to our nature, to our people, to our cats and dogs. So they can do it on purpose, just as using a nuclear bomb, but pretend it happened accidentally, or maybe these are Ukrainians again bombing themselves, you know, one of the very popular Russian narratives that we like bombing ourselves, like that's what we do daily, like we kill each other and we like it. Total BS. But still, people who are looking for this return to new normal that is not possible after we've witnessed all the crimes of Russia and Putin. So they may say it happened accidentally, we did not intend it, and just continue threatening the world, and many will choose not to escalate. I'm very much afraid of that, because we see that many global leaders, many international organizations like International Atomic Energy, like United Nations, like OSCE, you know, many of them, that actually have budgets very similar to the support that Ukraine is constantly asking for. But we are doing the job, and they are not. They simply spread concerns, then they advise not to escalate, and we have more acts of destruction, acts of mass murder and ecocide in Ukraine, and not only. So I am more worried that they can use any of Ukrainian nuclear power plants as a target, but in particular of Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe, that is now under total control of orcs that do whatever they want there, mine the territory, ruin cooling systems, supply with the oil that does not work properly, cause blackouts. They are playing with, not just with the fire, it's worse than a fire, it's nuclear, radioactive power. Crazy. Subscribe and share if you agree with me. I'm super grateful for your support, coffees that you buy, and my beautiful patrons. Recently, we have celebrated 10 million views. This is such an honor that you care about Ukraine and that you stay with us, and united we will win. And we have to win because it's not about Ukraine only. It's about democracy and this respect of human life and freedom and choice globally. That's why we have to remain united. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, and Twitter and Discord community. All the links you need are in the description of this video. And remember to check our beautiful merch, because all of our t-shirts, sweatshirts, caps, and cups and stickers work well as conversation starters and reminders about Ukraine, that we have to stay united. Thank you once again for your support, and Slava Ukraini!